Hey everybody, Ben here. I wanted to share my thoughts on this California law that has been signed by the governor that's supposed to take effect October 2019 that abolishes the commercial bail bond system in the state of California. I've made this video over the last couple weeks. I have made and remade and deleted and remade this video several attempts. I usually wind up kind of rambling and getting a little angry and saying things that I'm like, I can't upload that video. It's not that I fear of consequences or anything. It's just that I like to keep a certain level of professionalism and appropriateness on my channel, and some things I've said have fallen out of those lines. So here we go. We're going to try again. This is take like 62 or something, you know. So California, being the wonderful state that it is, has decided that commercial bail is no longer a viable system, which California is not the first state to do away with commercial bail, and it certainly won't be the last, but it's probably the first state using the reasoning that it's using. Now, we're dealing with a lot of that stuff here in Mississippi. Other states are dealing with it too. All these bail reform lawsuits, and right now there's laws in the Mississippi legislature that are waiting to be presented that they're trying to abolish commercial bail all over the United States, and there's politicians backing this stuff. But what I find interesting is that even in California, the people that started this crap, the people that are behind this bail reform and pushing it, once California passed a law that they passed, they're like, whoa, that's not what we meant to do. You know, I feel like that in California what's happening is there's a case of be careful what you wish for, and the organizations, I know the ACLU is a huge organization behind this, are saying, wait, this thing that's passing isn't any better than what we had. So what happened in California is they passed a law that basically took away bail schedules. So what a bail schedule is somebody gets arrested for a common offense, like say shoplifting. In Mississippi, you can be arrested for traffic violations. So speeding, running a red light, failure to yield the blue lights and sirens, DUI. I think just common charges have set bonds. Somebody gets arrested, when they're being booked into the jail, the jailer looks at a list, says, here's the charge, this is the bond amount. The only time they have to call a judge is if there's extenuating circumstances, or some felony cases. There's even, you know, set bonds for common felony cases. So it's a time-saving process. But the argument is if there's a $3,000 bond for a charge for this guy, and he can afford to get out, but this guy can't afford to get out, then it's unfair to this guy that broke the law because this guy can get out. Now, this is where I start to get emotional, so I'm having to think about what I'm saying. All right, so it's true that there are people that aren't able to bond out of jail because a variety of reasons. They're poor, their family's poor, and they can't find a bondsman that will work with them. That's the key right there. The reason they can't find a bondsman that will work with them is because 9 times out of 10, they are lying to the bondsman to get them to help. I can't tell you how many people I have helped out, gotten them out of jail, and not got paid right up front. You know, because circumstances were such that they didn't have funds available right then, but if they didn't get out, they were going to lose their jobs, you know. But they wind up being decent bonds, decent people. Anyway, but that option was there. The choice was there. And out of, there are currently over 100 professional agents, personal surety professional agents, and about 100 limited surety professional agents. Each professional agent in Mississippi is a bonding company, which means they employ agents that work under them. So out of the hundreds and hundreds of agents in Mississippi, if you're even a little bit decent, you can find somebody that'll work with you. The people that wind up sitting in jail, and this is the part that really gets under my skin, the people that wind up sitting in jail are the people that go over and over and over again, and they get bonded out, they're given chances, they're, you know, put on payment plans for bonds that they can't afford, and they don't show up for court. They run, they hide, they get put back in jail, they get bonded out by a different bonding company, they run, they hide, they get put back in jail. This cycle that the person that is going through it created, it's not because they're poor, it's not because they're from disadvantaged communities, it's not because the color of their skin, is because that person burned all their bridges. They burned all their bridges with their friends, with their family, and with all the bondsmen, you know? So to say that the bonding industry preys on those people it's asinine. It's ridiculous. You know, so California has said, okay, we're going to take this predatory business, we're going to remove it from the equation. Now we're going to leave it up to one guy. One guy, folks. So I've never been to California, never even visited California, don't know how their court systems work, but I know here in Mississippi, a smaller town can have one full-time judge and possibly a part-time judge. So in the town that my office is in, there is one primary judge, and then there's judges that'll fill in for him from time to time if need be. But they have court once a week, and this one guy sets all the bonds. Now, because of this lawsuit, there's no longer a bond schedule. So now this judge has to be called for every bond. Now, imagine, put yourself in the shoes of Joe Blow citizen that got arrested. And your fate hangs in the balance by one man, one guy. What if he's on vacation? What if he's not feeling well? What if his wife left him or cheated on him, or his favorite pet died? You know, your very existence is based on the mood, the attitude, or the availability of this one judge in this town. Now, like I said, I don't know anything about California, but I imagine there's a lot of areas in California that are just like that. So the governor or the politicians are taking the commercial side out of it. See, what a lot of people don't understand is we are a business. Customer service is a huge part of our success or failure. Like any other business, if you do bad business, if you have poor customer service, if you treat your clients like crap, if you screw people over, you're not going to last in this industry. The industry will starve you out, because I'm in a small community. Word spreads fast. You might last a year or two, but beyond that, you're going to be out of business. So people have a choice. They can call me because they've heard through a friend of a friend of a friend that, you know, I'm a pretty decent guy and I won't burn you. Or they can call so-and-so because they know so-and-so will get you out for next to nothing, but, you know, you might have to deal with the consequences of that too. And what I mean by that is, you know, so-and-so gets you out for next to nothing, but, you know, won't quit harassing you once you're out for either money, or maybe you're you do something else for a living and they want you to do them favors. So that stuff does happen. This industry does have, you know, bad eggs in it. Every industry does. You don't see them trying to shut down every industry that has bad eggs in it, but they're trying to eradicate bail bondsmen and leave people to be dealt with by the system. The same system that is failing them now. See, what people fail to understand is the bondsman didn't go out and get a DUI. The bondsman didn't get pulled over and didn't get arrested. The bondsman didn't get a bond set. The bondsman didn't set the bond. The bondsman didn't choose whether or not you went to the county jail or you bonded out of the city. You know, the bondsman doesn't choose any of this. All we do is provide a service. If you need our services, then we're there. Cops and judges have always had the ability, at least here, I don't know about California, but cops here have always had the ability to just cut you loose. You know, you get pulled over for DUI and they want to take you down to the police department, let your mama come pick you up and have your car towed. They've always had that choice and they exercise that choice. Now, can it be said that they exercise that choice more for one demographic than the other? I don't know. I don't believe so. I believe that for the majority of people, cops deal with them on an individual basis. And, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine that's in law enforcement the other day. He had pulled somebody over and he approached the vehicle, said, "Sir, you know, I'm pulling you over for this reason." And that guy just started running his mouth. And he was like, "Write me the tickets. Write me the, you know, I don't care. You can write." And my buddy's like, "Okay." So he wrote him tickets. That guy didn't realize that when he walked up to that car, all he was going to do is say, "Hey, look, man, what you got going on here is cool, but it's not street legal. So I'm not going to write you a ticket, but you need to know it's not street legal. You need to fix it." Well, dude talked himself into getting a ticket. He literally asked the officer to write him a ticket. And a lot of times, and that's nationwide, a lot of people, if they're cool, you know, they're respectful, they do what's asked of them, then they don't get the full extent of what can happen. Yeah, I know so many people that have been arrested and been like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I had too much to drink. I knew I had too much to drink. And I use DUI because it's common here. I knew I had too much to drink, but I got in the car anyway. And the cop's like, you know, look, man, you're being cool. I'm going to let your mama come get you, your wife, girlfriend, whoever, come get you. And, you know, we'll leave your car here in this parking lot. Or even if they don't have the choice. I know that once Mothers Against Drunk Driving got involved in the DUI system, the ability to let people just get a ride home and make it got harder to do. So they still get charged with a DUI, but because they were cooperative, because, you know, they were being respectful, they didn't have to jump through all the hoops that the guy that's like, I don't care if you take me to jail, I pay your salary, you know, that guy, he's going, his car's getting towed, he's going down to county lockup, he's going to sit there for 8 or 9 hours, he's going to have to call a bondsman. You know, that guy's mouth got him in that situation. But now imagine, now you have a cop and a judge, all right? This guy pisses the cop off. The cop is really good friends with the judge, and the cop calls the judge and says, Judge, this is what we got. And this guy's a little mouthy. Well, this one judge that he's in charge of setting bonds now has set up, they have limits that they can do. You know, misdemeanor can't be over a $5,000 bond. So, but because this cop has been irritated, and now he's calling this judge at 2 o'clock in the morning and telling the judge, hey, you know, this guy's being a jerk. Now this guy that would have normally had a $1,200 bond has a $5,000 bond. You know, this system that California has created is going to be a nightmare. It is going to cost people their families, their jobs, their livelihoods, their homes, you know, just because you're leaving it up to the system, and people are going to wind up languishing in the system even more now than ever. And you know what, California, you do California. What I'm afraid of is other states are going to start following suit and saying, oh, that's a good idea, because all these laws are being passed with emotion behind it. This is not a logical step. I am all for the bail bond system being regulated. I am all for more oversight. I can't stand a lot of the stuff these bonding companies do to make an extra buck or to cut another bonding company's throat. What I'm afraid of is I don't want to be in a position one day where my freedom depends on a cop calling a judge. The idea of that scares the crap out of me. So I'm starting to ramble a little bit here, but the point of this video is just to give my opinion on this bill. I hope that it gets overturned. I think it sets a very dangerous precedent. I think that commercial bail serves a purpose. It's been around since the beginning of time. Bail sureties have been around since the beginning of time in one form or another. People guaranteeing the appearance of other people to the justice system of the day has been around since the beginning of time, and there's no reason for it to not be now. Put more rules on it, require stricter background checks, require more training, require more education, but don't do away with the system. I mean, God, hire some investigators on the state level to go investigate these so-called predatory bonding companies. Please. Anyway, that's all for now. Ben the Bondsman signing out. Remember, bail bonding isn't what we do, it's who we are.